I'm Rick, and I lead developer experience at Wise, and hopefully the rest of the talk will go smoother. So, it's just been the school holidays here in the UK, so I have just been on a long family holiday, and I come to you with jet lag, and I'm also starting to lose my voice, which will be celebrated come Thursday at work, not so convenient on stage. So, I've been thinking a lot about what this talk is about. Is it a tips and tricks manual for you? Is it the content for my next performance review? Is it a plea for help for the next generation? But hopefully there'll be something for you. The caveat is everything we talk about will always be about a human being in the loop. None of the dark factory stuff here. So most of you looking for a magic wand. With one flick, I'll give you senior quality engineering at a fraction of the cost. That'd be wonderful. But sadly, if you want to progress this career ladder and help people, it does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of passion. There are no magic wands. But if I cannot be your fairy godmother, hopefully I can show you the steps we've taken at Wise to make this a success. So, let's draw you in. We need to imagine we are early careers, and that's a long time ago for some of us. Let's think, if it was our final year of a computer science degree, how would we be feeling right now? Housing market, broken. Dating game, broken. Job market is now broken, and AI is coming for everything. I'd be so frustrated, terrified, worried. Excitement would be the last thing on my mind. The one thing we have all got in common is we all had a start to our careers. Some company took a chance on us, and look how good that has turned out. I stand here in front of a room of leaders. So we need to start taking chances on people. Here we go. This is me, 2004, and I wish I could tell you that was an AI-generated image. It is not. If you really like the nostalgia, that is a desk phone. Who has those anymore? Here I am, I'm a junior applications engineer building software for CD-ROMs using Macromedia Authorware, if anyone can remember that. I was excited. I knew exactly what was to come. If I worked hard, I could progress my career. Now, imagine yourself. How did you feel? Imagine if you've got the mass media telling you there'll be no engineers by 2028. You would be gutted. So, to give you a comparison between what I show you today and your organizations, Wise has give or take 1,000 engineers. That's our engineering org side. Our early careers program is called WiseStart. Every year, it takes on 50 frosted tip Space Invader t-shirt wearing grads, just like I was. That is a lot of people that we need to upskill. There's a lot of people that we need to teach and have impact on our mission. And even though we don't have to do the shift like with seniors in AI adoption, our grads we take on when I speak to them are quite scared of AI. They think they'll be judged differently by seniors because they've only known AI. They think they won't learn anything. So I need to put an effort to buck that trend. We start at Wise with education. Scaling education can be a challenge, and I'm really not keen on formal online stuff. I like a human approach. And the Master and Apprentice system has stood the test of time as a way we grow the next generation. I had a bugbear in everywhere I've worked, which was we've all hired new starters. The team they start off in shapes almost who they become as an engineer. Sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not, and I didn't like the roll of that dice. I wanted to create a program where I could get everyone the same base level of skills, and if I could save hundreds of engineering hours from teaching, that would be fantastic. So they all start with Codex the moment they start, and every topic we teach them uses Codex or Claude Code to achieve the task. So how do we get going? It's a 2-day intensive boot camp on week 1. We take them through the full SDLC on our golden path. They create a real service and they deploy it to our testing cluster. Each step is a lightning talk, and then a practical. We spoke to the grads, and they do not want to feel like they're at uni, so we do our best to stop that. The whole thing goes through and ends in what we call service ping pong, where they have to call each other's service to return part of a secret message. The first one to put it all together and work out what it says wins. But we do not stop there. We can't change the world in a 2-day workshop. So next we have an engineering academy. It has 4 key pillars: working, coding, operating, and advancing. We don't teach these all in order. We pick from each pillar how it best suits the grads. Operating, for instance, has our on-call. This is terrifying for early careers. So we have a workshop that fakes pings them, breaks services, they have to fix them. The working pillar, for instance, has our product mindset, which is incredibly important for an engineer at Wise. This has changed a lot over 2 years. 2 years ago, we had our first ever AI workshop. It was using Copilot Chat in VS Code as an aggregated Stack Overflow. This academy is also how we started to work out how non-deterministic AI models could be. Our 2024 cohort, in their AI workshop, we had practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. When it came to the workshop, the AI broke all the tests, broke all the code, and only solidified their understanding that they thought AI won't help them. It was I felt very bad after that workshop. So, when I wrote the abstract for this talk, this was back in December. Slop was a big word. The frontier models have moved on a lot. Slop is less of Wise's problem now. Now we're finding with all this agentic code being generated, it's doing it in a wise way, in a way that a human can still easily review, and a way that we want to build services. And that's the biggest challenge. How can I now keep scaling if it's really tough to keep running workshops and takes a lot of energy? Well, I had an idea. We built a set of skills for Codex and Claude Code called WiseStart to try and see if we can increase PR quality, which will reduce the cognitive load on senior reviewers. So the first one, WiseStart Breakdown. Now, WiseStart Breakdown, you can look at any line, symbol, object, and it will give you a really human way to understand it. It will use metaphors to try and teach you what's really going on. One of the problems I could see is that as we shift to be code reviewers and not writers, how are we going to learn all the different ways we can achieve things? So breakdown, if it sees something like a map and a filter, it will say, well, you could do this in a reduce. This is so powerful, I use it all the time to understand the database migrations that Codex keeps writing me. It's very clear. So another problem we saw grads were facing. Agent writes a 10-file PR. GitHub does not show you this very well. It's even hard if you're a senior to work out where to start. So if you WiseStart code flow, it breaks it down, the logical order of execution that it's going to go through. So Wise is a Java Spring Boot company, don't judge us. If you've made something with a new HTTP endpoint, it will start there. It will explain to you how it goes into your service layer, goes deep into your repository, and stores the data. If you're a visual learner, it even makes you mermaid diagrams to help you understand. Our last skill, not quite ready yet, is called Review With Me. This is more meant to be like a pairing session. It goes backwards and forwards like a senior reviewer would in a PR, but on your local machine to keep the feedback close. It challenges assumptions, talks about key decisions made, and can suggest future enhancements to stop over-engineering right now. They're our current set of 3 skills, and they're currently out, apart from the last ones in beta, being used and having great success. At Wise, though, it's all about impact. We are a huge fan of DX and their Core 4 framework, and I get when I show you these productivity metrics, they are imperfect, but let's see how it's impacting things. So, time to 10th PR. This is our onboarding metric. This is since we officially started taking grads in 2021 up until our current cohort. 2023 is when we started using our educational programs. So this is kind of our base rate. We can see it's taking nearly 100 days for a junior engineer to make 10 PRs. But as we move forward to our agentic juniors that have always had access to at least Windsurf or Claude Code, they are flying. That is half the time it takes to onboard. And if you are a startup, that can be really essential in order to shipping your product faster. I'm really pleased with this data and how it looks. If we look at our speed metrics, rate of change, this is PRs per engineer per month. It's the same time spots. So 2023 is when we started our program. 2024, there's a dip in PR throughput, which there's so many variables to understand. I know that 2023 cohort were all co-located in London with me. They all were really tight and they had a great support network. Maybe that has something to do with it, I don't know. But what we can see is, yet again, the agentic juniors are flying. The company average is 15-ish PRs a month for a senior. I'm not saying they're shipping the same complexity, but for their level, they are shipping the same quantity, and that is huge. We have AI engines running in our CI cluster that categorize PRs, and that's not just patches and vulnerabilities. They're pushing features through. So we've got increased PR rate, we've got increased batch size. What else can we do to try and help these juniors succeed without burdening the organization? We carry on trying to find ways to automate, to steer the grads and reduce pressure. There's a big industry buzzword at the moment, and it's called minions. We are calling it intent to PR. But emotionally, it was so tough to get AI adoption going at Wise. I think if we did minions, I don't think we're emotionally ready. It'd be like putting petrol on a bonfire. So where have we started? We call this Wise Agentic Platform. So as I said, through our internal LLM gateway, we have models running in our CI cluster. This allows Wise Agentic Platform to look at every diff and work out what of its agents should it trigger. You can see there we're currently running quality, security, testing, cross-boundary. So quality will look at the current diff, check it meets our standards, whereas cross-boundary will look at the entire repository to check that it fits in with everything going on. A huge one that's in beta is our CI build agent. The idea here is that all the time it takes to monitor your pipelines of going in and out, trying to read the error stack, copy, paste it, we're trying to reduce that by having the agents automatically pick up the CI build errors and fix them for you. Docs, I'm hoping, will be the game changer. Our engineering survey gets attacked every 6 months about the quality of documentation, even though it's their problem, not mine. But imagine a world where I can say that documentation is always up to date and never out of date. That is incredible for not only DX, but also AX. Now, the way we're magically trying to keep this all in line is with our Wise Brain MCP. This is our own in-house built MCP server that has access to our entire engineering estate. It has our software catalog and dependency graph, so it knows who talks to who. It has team data, it knows about service vulnerabilities, and it also knows about our maturity standards. I've personally watched junior engineers one-shot 5 services to patch all their vulnerabilities, all in a terminal with Claude Code. This has been huge. So when we talk about doing things in a wise way, this has been the key. This is essential in order to do great work. Now, we can't have done all of this without analyzing PR data. We saw we're getting the same bottlenecks as a lot of people. PR review times increasing, PR pickup times increasing. So what can we do about it? How can we help? Well, the PR review bot is a kind of social engineering experiment to see if we can help get things through. The premise is pretty simple. You can say request review. The magic is that it knows how to contact every team in Wise via Slack. So if your PR needs multiple team review to go through, it knows how to message them all. To try and help them make better decisions, it tells you how many files have changed. It tells you the net line change count. It uses AI to categorize what is happening in the PR. And that is essential to help you make decisions if it's going to be quick. We've seen this has had a huge impact on pushing through our one-liner PRs. They're picking up really quick now. It is yet to have any impact on the more complicated PRs. But what we at least have done is we've empowered our senior engineers to make the right choice for the right time to break their flow and go deeper and review these PRs. The icing on the cake is that last week we released automated emoji reactions. I'm constantly looking for little ways to save minutes here and there. So when a PR's been approved, it marks it. So you don't have to pick it up if it's already done. And it also adds an emoji if it's been merged. The next place I'd like to take this, of course, is I would like to have it so it could tell you if someone's already reviewing it, put a little eye emoji on it or something. But we have at least 17,000 PRs every month. PR bot has taken 2 hours off of every review on average. That is a huge saving. That's a lot of throughput. And that is not hard to build with an AI agent. You should think about that one. So, first half of my mission is going quite well, which is move at the speed of a startup. The next part I need to think about is with all the security compliance of a bank. Hard part is I'm not going to go fast if I put gates everywhere. I need guardrails, but I need to do it safely. When I joined Wise, someone once said to me, we need to be careful. Imagine we're holding your grandmother's life savings. Would you want someone to mess that up? And that stuck with me. So at Wise, when we deploy, we're using Spinnaker. So we've got two kind of ways of deploying in here. We have a tenancy and staging. This allows all the early careers to take any PR image and deploy it to a fake running Wise so they can gain confidence. Ideally, we don't want that. We want full CD. We want maximum delivery speed. So every tier 1 and 2 service at Wise, mandatory, has to use automated canary analysis. This means it gets a progressive rollout. At each step of the way, it's checking KPIs to make sure the system is always working perfectly. And as soon as it notices a problem, it rolls back. That is a huge safety net for early careers, and to get them shipping code, to get them learning. It's got the fastest feedback loops, which is really important if you're a junior, to know that that thing I did went wrong, and being able to tie it together. So that's really important. Deployment, though, is not just throwing it over the fence and forgetting about it. We have all the normal monitoring tools. We also have an engineering maturity framework. This constantly runs checks against our services. I'm not going to go too deep on it. You've seen lots of things like this before if you're using ops level or anything like that. It monitors all our regulatory standards, our engineering ones, best practices. The important thing to mention, though, is with early careers, setting expectations is essential in order to get in a great result. All of us have hired new people, and you've seen the difference if you've made the mistake in not setting the right expectations. This shows them exactly what the golden state looks like and what they need to aim for. It's just another signal for them to move at pace and do things in a wise way. So, what's this doing to us seniors? If we can do such a great job with early careers and accelerating them, what's their perspective? So my team do loads and loads of user interviews. We've spoken to lots of people. I'll tell you one thing, they are upset that they're not doing as much manual coding. If you love engineering, this is a really sad part about AI, the actual tippy-tappy, the noise of the keyboard. They are sad about that. But engagement remains high. Our NPS is plus 46 and growing up. So we know they're at least content, and they're engaged with working at the company and happy with the progress we're doing. But if we look at the same numbers as we did for the juniors, much flatter now. So this is the PRs per engineer per month, and we can see that it remains pretty stable. So a good thing there is keep pumping in junior talent. It's not slowing us down. That's good. Sad part, of course, is you can imagine what Wise's AI bill looks like, and my CTO would love to see that jumping higher. So that's harder to explain. But we are starting to trend upwards now. Like a lot of people said yesterday, this is a J-curve. 14% of the time is spent coding. So by just chucking a coding tool at them, we're not going to get huge changes. They've got a bigger shift to do emotionally. The early careers, we're showing them from scratch how to work. They've not had to suddenly change. But I am pleased to see that they're not slowing down. Really important is quality. Our quality metrics. Now, this line looks bumpy because it's only going from 0 to 3%, but this is our change fail rate. That is actually starting to trend down, which is a great signal. Now, I'm not naive. Everything in the industry says that effects of AI are going to come later. But it's a nice early signal for Wise, and we'll continue to monitor to make sure this doesn't start suddenly going wrong. So I'm really pleased with that. So here are some takeaways. It's really important for you to find your best teachers. Now, these aren't always your alpha geeks. They are not always the people that use the tools the most. They're the people that are able to use a language and articulate skills, how to bring people up. Find them. You're going to need to start doing things that match your expectations, and that's where your own skills, MCPs. MCP, bigger investment. Writing skills is not that tough. You should think about that. What I really want to talk about, though, is that we're in a layoffs and hiring freeze era right now. We are getting squeezed more and more. And there is an amazing market out there that you can tap into. You've seen my data. Like, with these tools, your teams can fly. When your seniors leave, who is going to carry the torch? The higher up the career ladder you try and hire, it's really difficult to get your culture. There's a myriad of experiences coming in. But I know an amazing market where you can grow it, and that's early careers. So think about it. Thank you for listening.